Miss Judy, who objected to this?
We received an objection from Mr. Bates.
Okay. All right, Mr. Bates, this is an objection hearing. At this hearing, I have to treat you like an attorney. So do you have an opening statement, sir?
I don't have an opening statement as far as prepared like an attorney, but I'm here just to try to get more time with my son as far as spring break and holidays. You guys allow her to do whatever she wants with our parenting time. There's no penalty.
Well, there's been a recommendation that was issued. You're the objecting party. So
Okay.
the burden is yours.
Absolutely.
Miss Markham, do you have an opening statement?
No, I'm just here to respond to what I need to respond to.
Okay, Mr. Bates, do you wish to call your first witness?
No, I don't have any witnesses except myself. And like I was saying, go ahead.
Do you wish to call your first witness?
Myself, yes.
Okay. Obviously, in a situation like this, you're not represented, so questioning yourself would make you look rather silly. So
Yeah.
I'm going to let you let you testify on what's called the narrative. You've read the recommendation. What is it your request? Tell me why and what.
Like
You're now
in the
under oath.
response, it says that I believe it was Miss Judy who did this whole deal, but whoever
Right.
said that she knows I have the best interest at my child, and he should be able to be with me. But I feel that the kickback you guys get from the state, you don't want me to have my child more and have less income.
I don't know where you get that. We don't get any kickbacks from the state. There is no such thing.
Okay. Maybe not you personally. I'm not saying you
No,
personally.
the court doesn't either.
I'm not saying you personally.
No, the court doesn't either.
So
Actually, we do this gratis because the federal government gives some stipend for a collection of child support. They do not give us any stipend to deal with any parenting time issues.
no,
So
not
this
the
is
parenting time. Not
this
the
is
parenting time.
this is all on the this is all in the county. This is on the county's time.
I'm not okay. Okay. But I just don't see why I can't have my child more. During the summer, he's at his grandmother's house while she's at work. I have a flexible schedule. He can be with me, even if it's during the day and we make arrangements to drop him back off. Like he's not outside.
How old is he?
He's 12. Well, 11. He's
Okay.
going to be 12.
Okay, what do you do for a living, sir?
I work in a candy factory. Well, not factory, but
Okay, what are your work hours?
they're flexible. Usually 9 to 5 or something like that, but they're very flexible.
Okay. And where would the child be if you were working 9 to 5?
That's what I was getting at. I can make arrangements for that. I can go in later. My job is very flexible. I can take days off.
Is his normal daycare provider her mother?
That's what he tells me.
Okay. So you could actually go to work if we gave you some time during the summer. You could go to work, leave the child at his normal babysitter, and pick the child up, and then you have the child for the evening and the overnight.
That as well. That I'm open. I'm trying to be open here.
Okay, so is the only thing we're arguing over here on summers?
And spring break, she does not abide by the parenting time. She just went to
Well,
Florida.
that's why they issued this order to make sure that it was much better laid out as to what.
Right. But she doesn't. Sorry, I'm a little excited. She doesn't follow it. For instance, I just filed several complaints. She took my son on my weekend to Florida, and I missed my weekend and the following Wednesday. She does this just because you guys allow her to. She's empowered. She has no penalties. I don't get any makeup time. It's been years of this. I just submitted complaints. She does it time and time and time again with no penalty. She was threatened jail time by somebody once, and she straightened her act up. But she just recently took him to Florida during my weekend. I missed my weekend and my Wednesday, and nothing's coming of this. That's what I'm getting at. Even if we don't.
I'm reading the recommendation here. I'm trying to figure out because normally this is a lot more in depth than it does some things that the court has found problematic, such as dividing a spring break. Normally we give every other spring break. Dividing the spring break tends to cause more headaches than help.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do.
Miss Markham, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in giving testimony?
I do.
All right, ma'am. Is your mother the normal daycare provider for this child?
Yes, and
Okay.
he has an older sister as well, who's 25, and she's off of work due to medical reasons. So he's with them both in the summer.
Because normally the court orders every other holiday, and it's split in such a way that if you get Halloween this year, the other side gets Halloween next year.
And that's what the recommendation was proposed for.
No, it's not. It doesn't follow that type of. You get every other spring break, you get half the Christmas break. One year you'll get the first week, the other year you'll get the second week. You get every other spring break. And at the age, once the child is hit 12, we typically do split the summers in such a way that the first full week of summer goes to the mother, the last full week goes to the mother, but every other week during the summer goes to between both of you, your weekend plus your 5 days. But the contingency here would be that he would use your mother or the older sister as the daycare so that he can go to work. And if he has a week that he has completely off, then he can keep the kid. I mean, that's pretty standard for almost every parenting type.
We were practicing before we had, anything put in place that he would have him 2 weeks out of the summer. Just let me know which 2 weeks you want. And that's how we've been practicing.
Well, that's why we do it, because then you get the first full week. So in other words, if school ends on a Wednesday, the full week would be the following week. And then whatever is attached to his weekend, he gets the Monday through Friday. And then you would get your weekend attached to the Monday through Friday. That's pretty standard for most of this. And,
well, as far as, spring break and holidays, the recommendation says we're splitting it. Odd years go to him and even years go to me. So
yeah, at this point, I think I'm going to adopt most of this, but it's going to be every other spring break. We're not splitting the spring break in half.
No, that's I think that's what we agreed on.
Yeah, I mean, and again, we don't split a holiday. You get every other holiday because the kid can't eat 2 dinners at the age of 12. It's a little bit rough. So each of you would get a full Easter day. If it falls on your weekend, then you get the whole weekend. If Memorial Day falls on your weekend, you get all 3 days. If it's the other side's weekend, you only get the Memorial Day. Okay. In other words, the every other weekend is the anchor. That doesn't change. The rest of the time is something else. So I think I would adopt the most of this, and I'm going to grant some of what Mr. Bates has requested, because that standard is the every other spring break and essentially every other week in the summer, which gives him about 4 weeks, and it gives you about 4 weeks. Because school breaks are but I mean we're gonna make this in order so that we have standard times, so that both of you should know what's about to happen, and so should the child.
That's
that way everybody's on the same page. Okay.
So
right. And that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to issue an order that does that. I'm going to break this down in a little better way. I'm going to put it in a grid format. Let me see if I can show you what I mean by that. Forgive me, I was a divorce attorney for many, many moons before I did this job, and I've been doing this job for 18 years now. And this was cobbled together over many different front of the courts.
And in the recommendation itself, there is a grid there.
There is?
Yes, page 4 of 5. So I kind of incorporated into the
similar
from both parents, and then the recommendation did have that grid.
All righty, and I'm going to issue that grid. Is there any questions? That way you have specific times and dates. You'll have specific times when if it's your odd year that you get this date. If it's an even year, you get this date. Okay.
Yes. So on Mother's Day, it will be his weekend, but on Sunday.
But Sunday you get Mother's Day, and if it's your weekend on Father's. By the way, that one tends to hit both of you over a 3-year span.
We went through all that.
Yeah, yeah. Mother's Day always goes to mother. Father's Day always goes to father.
Right.
If it's
I'm
your
just
week,
saying
if it, yeah, if
it
it's your,
falls on
if,
his weekend.
yeah,
So.
if it's your weekend, great. If it's not, yeah. Most parenting time ends at 7:30 on holidays, so that you have time to get them to dinner and stuff. And then that, because if we ended at 6, who has time to feed them dinner? So, but the typical is 7:30. So what I'm ordering is what normally would be ordered. Except I kind of, like I said, I've had this spring break type of thing before, and no, it does not work. Um, so you'll get the full holiday of a holiday. And normally the first half of Thanksgiving goes from Wednesday to Friday. So if it's your weekend, you get all 4 days. If it's not your weekend, the other side has 2 days to do their Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's what it says right here on the grid.
Right. All right. So we'll issue that. Yes, Mr. Bates, you have some questions?
I do. Are we gonna address any of the makeup time? She just went out of state.
I was trying to figure out what that was, because when I started this hearing, I brought it in front of the court because I'm like, I don't see a show cause before the court on this. I see something about an objection, which is unusual for this time period. Miss Judy, what are you doing about any makeup time or any time missed or show cause? What's going on with that?
So this complaint was actually from November.
November for Thanksgiving, correct?
We did receive Mr. Bates' complaint for the recent dates like he's talking about.
Right.
That is in process. So we still have to go through getting her response.
So that's not being ignored. That's just not what's being at this hearing.
Correct.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I also have dates and proof of.
And that's why she said
extra,
it's in
extra time, yeah, that I've given him. So.
That's why she said this is in process, so that you have an ability to respond.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right.
And also, I would like the exchange times to be at 8. Like example, summertime, he's not in school.
Right.
We do it on Wednesday. She's saying that he has to do homework and stuff. Our exchange time on Wednesday is 8 o'clock.
That I'm not changing the Wednesdays. I'm just dealing with the holidays.
Okay. Oh, just holidays?
That's all I'm dealing with.
Okay.
That's all that seems to be before the court. I don't have anything else.
Well, I received several emails, and
the only thing before the court is what the paperwork says, and it was an objection to this holiday time. Okay. Well, and the worst part is I'm kind of stuck because that's all I was given. So,
right,
and like Miss Judy just said, a lot of that is probably because what's in process is the contempt hearings that are being looked at, and to put them together so that there's an appropriate way to look at each of those days to determine if there's a contempt charge and or if there's makeup parenting time that's appropriate.
Is there any way, like time wise, I'm going to know when another hearing will be?
I have no idea.
And it's just getting swept under the rug. I'm like,
it doesn't sound like it's being swept under the rug. It sounds like the front of the court tried to issue something that was appropriate. That's why we're here. And they're also trying to deal with your concerns and the mother's concerns. They're trying to put that together in a format that the court.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. All righty. They try to get it right. Like I said, there is no stipend for this. They're doing this at the taxpayer's expense in the county of Kent.
I also pay taxes too, though.
Yeah, I know. So do I. And, like I said, though, but there is no money. This is not a money-driven thing. This is we all got to get through this, and it is what it is.
Another thing, if I may, about my job being flexible, my primary job is to make the product. Like I make candies and fudge. I can be there when the store's closed. So what I'm getting at is he won't even need to have an outside childcare. I'm not saying he's giving him every day. I'm just letting the court know that I can work whenever I want, but I can go in the stores. My job is.
Understand? I'm saying if you need to utilize it for your work, you utilize it.
I do not.
If you do not, then you're the one that needs to be with him.
Right. Exactly. Like he's not. When he's with me, he's with me. I'm just what I'm putting out, I guess, is there's less need for him to be with his grandparent or his sister. She just stated she's off work for a medical condition. He's not a baby. He doesn't need childcare like that.
Well, he doesn't need child care after the age of 12.
No.
So, but what I'm doing is trying to do what he's used to. If he's used to having somebody there for him, great, utilize that.
I will be there for him.
If you are there with him, that's a whole nother matter. Like I said, if you get time off, you can take the kid for the whole week. You can go on a vacation just as she can go on vacation on her weeks.
Well, and he's taking him to work with him.
Yeah. You're okay with him taking him to work? Well, it is.
He's,
I-
he
tells me he has fun, so I'm.
I was gonna say it's a candy shop. Never
Yeah.
mind.
Exactly. He could come to work with me. I'm
Okay.
saying,
I'm going to say for the first time ever in how many years I've been doing this that I'll let you take the kid to work. Normally, I say the exact opposite. So a kid in a candy shop. Yeah.
Just not too much candy.
Okay. Don't let him eat everything. All right. So thank you for allowing me to say something I've never said before. Every once in a while, you actually yesterday got to tell an attorney that he's been ghosting the court.
Oh, nice.
Well, I'm sorry, he's been gaslighting the court. I got to get those terms correct.
Okay.
I'm 63, man. Those
totally
terms are another those terms are another generations. But no, he's been gaslighting the court during 3 hearings, and I'm like, so this is week I'm having a good. I wonder what I'll get to say tomorrow that I've never said.
There we go.
All that this court is here to do is try to get you both through this, get this child to have time with both of you that's available, and do it safely. And as long as that can be done, that's what the law says we should do. Sometimes my job here is just to explain it. Okay.
And also,
it ain't perfect.
Okay. Can I put on the record also that if something doesn't work for you and it's your week or day, and we agree to changing, then so be it. Then we agree.
The bottom line on any parenting time is any other times the parties agree. What I generally ask that you do is you do it in writing.
Okay.
That way I don't get a he said, she said later.
Sure.
All right. Again, this is your child, not the court's.
And
I
another
would
thing,
prefer for you to raise this child because I raised my own. It was enough. But when I have to raise everybody else's, I'm stuck doing things like I had to order something yesterday that I wasn't even happy with. But that's what the law said.
and can we look at the order? I believe it says I only have him 38 overnight. I might have the old one, but that's not correct. And if I'm having him weeks during the summer, I would like that to reflect on my overnight days. Like,
it probably won't make any difference until you get close to 121 overnights. It doesn't generally change.
What would it take for me to get 121 overnight days? Like I want him as much as I can, and it just.
I understand you do. No, because the law, Mr. Bates, the law says that we do what the kid is used to and has been used to for years. We're not supposed to change it. I'm tweaking it a little bit right now.
Okay.
What you are butting up against is the law itself and a lot of appeals court cases and Supreme Court cases that says the court's hands are tied on changing anything drastically enough to change what the child is used to.
So how about, and I know you guys don't want this. I'm not saying his grandmother is abusive or neglectful in any sort, but he says they just sit in the house. She's not old. She's older. Right. She doesn't shoot hoops. She doesn't play.
Well, you're gonna have a lot of.
Why can't he be with me more to do that? He's overweight. Like he's unhealthy.
Then you're gonna have time.
How does that make sense?
That's not true.
You're gonna
That's his opinion.
You're gonna have your time in the summer to deal with that.
So okay,
and every other spring break and every after Christmas.
I'm talking in circles. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So let's wrap this up.
All right, and we're going to issue that order.
I appreciate that.
I'm working with Miss Judy that will adjust this appropriately. I missed the grid page because my eyes were crossing trying to read page 3 instead of look at page 4.
Yeah,
so I was trying to figure out all the stuff that was there. No, I mean it was confusing to me.
Can I speak to Miss Judy?
I think we've spoken enough. She's working on the other issue. We'll get this order out and get that issued. There will be a 21-day appeal period on it. If you want another hearing, that hearing would be in front of the judge. Just be warned, you'll be treated like attorneys, and that's going to be a lot different than what I just did.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good afternoon. Take care of the kid. Enjoy the summer.